The spookies! What does Tigger call them? The spookables. So that's who we represent.
Yes.
With ET and Arcturus RA.
Yes. Inventor, Galactarian, Galactivated, and really, my friend.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's something about like getting kinship and friendship to be really strong and alliances and you know.
Yeah, it's
teams.
It's here's the thing I learned: you can't make people do things that they're not willing to do for themselves. Then you see some people photonically, I would say, telepathically, telempathically you connect, and some you don't. And I am glad when people show up and say, hey, I had this idea, would you be interested? Not that this is a program in this, but it's an actual flow of things and you enjoying doing that.
Yes.
And it's my passion. That's my life. That's all I do. So I'm ready for you to shoot with some questions, maybe some questions that you want to know. How do you do this? Or how does this work? Or you had with the environment, EMF. You have something?
So the conversation has been very about the environment lately because we can't get too out there. And actually when we get really out there, then we realize that we need to take care of down here.
Yeah.
And that technology from out there helps down here.
Yeah.
And so a lot with the electromagnetics, that's been a big question lately. And it's a big deal.
Yeah.
It changes our consciousness.
Yes.
How does it change our consciousness?
Well, so here's the deal with EMF. A lot of people say EMF blocking saves you. Per se, to block the EMF doesn't get rid of the problem. Same with the cell towers. The problem with EMF is electromagnetic frequency. Google that. You need to investigate and do your own research. I always say, don't believe me. Here's what my findings. We have atoms in our cells and electrons that spin around that, okay? So there's an electromagnetic exchange going on in your system as we speak. And you can attach a little battery or a voltmeter to your tongue and to your pinky or whatever, and you'll have microvoltage. Every cell has such and such, like, 0 dot and then 0 microvolts. So 5 trillion cells, the capacity of the potential of what you can produce is immense as an avatar Jedi. So your DNA has a sequence that is like the flower of life pattern that always harmonizes, continuously harmonizes from within. So when your light body has this harmonic, resonant rainbow bubble structured in a rainbow type flower of life grid, hovering, always singing the nice melody, and you are in tune, 432 hertz, you're in tune with central source. Now you have an airplane passing you by. This is what happens to your aura. You get dented. Your entire electromagnetism goes spastic for a minute, and that all day, every day. Airport scanners, when they scan you, your toroidal field gets warped. Cell phones, your brain, in order to be superconductive, you need ormus. Like I produce that also, called Galactivate, is to stay in tune with this, to anchor it in. So when you have a cell phone more than 5 minutes at your ear, you have these vents that open up and blood hits you unfiltered. And your entire magnetism and ormus is kind of like out of whack, and you partially lose ormus. They have reported ormus battles between a couple of cell phones and the ormus evaporates. Google also ormus, orbitally rearranged monatomic elements. Your body is made of these elements. So the electricity that we use is not really designed to harmonize with your DNA. So the EMF that comes in, then that's the problem for us sensitives, HSP, and I will also do a video on HSP people, what that actually means, is a cell tower has unstructured EMF.
Yeah.
That means it blasts you kind of like, it's supposed to do, but it does, and you cringe. Your pineal gland cannot really open in a big city because your telomeres, the antennas that continuously check for safe environments, safe photonic electromagnetic frequency to open up, keep you kind of locked. That's why not everybody sees ships or senses ETs or is empathic or is positive, because we get bombarded with all types of airwaves and we don't have a psychic protection for that. So my technology implements to empower the cell with light. So I have nanospherical quartz sand that I put in pendant, which are called the gammatron key, and that nanospherical quartz sand has a very, very high light capacity, 10 to the 23rd. That means that would be equivalent to sunlight outside of Earth's orbit, like superstructured captured photons. When photons come in, they're unpolarized, and when you capture them with intent in a machine, which is not a machine per se, it's more like a conscious device that captures them and directs them into the sand, you bring the cell information as in light structure back to the body. And what the body does, it can go, oh, I remember that. That's source light. Okay, that feels kind of safe. Yeah. And then your body opens more up, your toroidal field structures, and you're protected. So if you have an EMF sticker that's photonically enhanced with my technology, your cells have more of a light quotient defense against the unstructured EMF that's hitting them.
And the question that I've been having with my dad about the electric car, because he's like, EMFs, he's like, well, what about spaceships? Spaceships are going to be, or free energy even. And I'm like, well, they would have had structured EMFs. Like, they're structured to flow with our cellular makeup, with our energetics. Like, they're advanced. They're accordant with it.
Yeah.
So is that true? Or is what's going on with the different technologies?
Well, I heard a story of an inventor that I met in Berlin who lives very secluded, who had built a device that actually makes you conscious. So if you have a, let's say, per se, Tesla generator that doesn't use 60 hertz, 60 hertz cuts the Schumann resonance, has a ladder from 1.2, 2.8 till it hits 7.83. The base top line is 8 hertz, but like the Schumann resonance also is not changing. Check Ben Lone Tree, it's constant. Don't lose yourself in weird and wacky concepts. It's 7.83 hertz.
Wait, so go over that for a second, because everyone's like saying that it's like, it's going crazy.
Yeah, you got to go to Ben Lone Tree's site. The guy consults NASA. He measures it and shows the measurement.
Yeah.
And he does it every week.
Yeah.
And he says when that changes, Earth would expand.
Yeah.
Like Earth would grow bigger.
And it has been changing, hasn't it?
It's fluctuating, but the constant is 7.83 is always there. It's not like somebody said 13 hertz. That's impossible.
Right.
We wouldn't be standing here if that would be 13 hertz.
Yeah.
That we would cook and tectonic plates would fall out of that. That's not happening. So it's holding. I mean, it's fluctuating. Yes, it sings a rhythm from 1 to the 7.83, but that's continuously this 60 hertz. 60 hertz cuts right under your heart. That means it cuts your spirit body in half. It's basically as if somebody was poking you all the time. So in your house, you're on a 60 hertz, your energy body is all day this. That's why you need EMF protection. Get an EMF reader app, like for your car. Check how far is that from the meter, what is the reach of the meter. And when I build like EMF modulators, they're not blocking the EMF. What they do is I use Shungit, very positive. It sucks in the EMF and structures it harmoniously, and it matches the human DNA, like all biological life. Very phenomenal rock, Shungit.
How big of a rock needs to be? How big does the rock need to be to structure the space? Because like I have like this big. How much?
I mean, if you want it next to your meter, I would get a cube this size.
Yeah.
Kind of like this.
Yeah.
By your bed also this size is to be safe.
Yeah.
But for your head, you can also have let's say for your car, I would get a Shungit cube.
Yeah.
And just put that where the lock is, the plug.
Yeah.
It's just like a magnet for unstructured energy, and it's better than orgonite actually, because it's by itself does what it does. You can combine it with orgonite, but a friend of mine has already developed an electric system that can run through the meter, that you won't have 60 hertz coming into your house. You'd have Schumann resonance coming into your house. So we can build technology that can make us actually conscious. Meaning like you in your house, let's say a guy lives in a Fibonacci sequenced house. The golden ratio is 68 years old. I know one guy named, and his name is Mason, and his 2020 came back.
Really?
Took the glasses off. It went into delta state. So if you build what's conducive to your system correctly according to the Atlantean and Lemurian system, you'll be Avatar again.
Yeah.
You'll be Jedi again.
Yeah.
We have to understand, I don't know if you know this, the natives always said square lodges kill the spirit.
Oh yeah.
So what are we living in?
90-degree angles.
90-degree angles
keeps us in this dimension.
That's why astral projection in a square house is difficult. If you camp in a canyon, guess why you're out and you're being visited, contacted, because your soul doesn't have the 60 hertz cable running through the ceiling that'll cut your soul and it goes right back into your body. And you're like, I'm not going out. So astral travel is problematic. Dream recall is problematic because 60 hertz smacks you. That is part of an ancient system that you can go back to the old Nuburian draconian rulership that still keeps you in your box. And we want to actually create technology that gets you out of your box. So I have a pendant that actually helps you open that light body up and stabilizing and holding the protective field. Also, when people pray to Archangel Michael and all that stuff, is the photonic level is increased when you really have a connection to that angel or ET commander, if you will. So photons, angels, they call the photon also the messenger molecule. They used to say it's a massless particle, but in my downloads I received it's actually mass. Light is physical, it's not metaphysical. Because it takes the physical to make the physical. That's why you're in physical form, I'm in physical form. We're here, and we're transmitting in physical form. That's why things can be explored and experienced. All the dimensions up is that way. The reason why we see ETs shimmering is because we see the photonic residue of a channel bleeding in. Like for those who remember TVs with antennas, and it's a rainy or snowy day, and it's like, and you see another image coming in. Well, dimensionally, the same thing can happen. Phasing in, phasing out. So Earth is pretty much rigged and controlled with the dark matter energy, and we want to get out of that. So UHF, VHF, the regular EMF, microwave, what's the other one? Nuclear power. You know, the word atom, atomos, means which cannot be divided. Why are we destroying suns? Creating duality, ripping the time-space continuum. Whether we see it or not, we're creating contraptions with nuclear explosions. Every time it's done, it's like, and that affects the layers. And a lot of us are here in the flesh and up in the sky to help fix that. So back to the environmental thing, I have another invention, which I shared with you, is I have a fuel diviner, which is so powerful. I already sold 100 pieces. And people are still slow to get it, so I will explain it again. It's a fuel efficiency device. What it does is it harmonizes your car. It changes the hydrolysis of the flow-through structure of the fuel going through your car. That means it drops your emission rate. And when they tax your emissions in the future, you'll love this invention because I get you in the green spectrum. From trucks to semi-trucks to regular cars, we have measured up to 87% of carcinogens and black particles stop coming out of the exhaust. And you can have up to 42% more mileage with your car, depending on how conscious you drive, because that device responds to your consciousness. And it's working. I have not one return device. I had one customer where we couldn't figure out the sweet spot where it is, but you have to understand that the pendants that I create with some people, like it could be suggested or suggestive and placebo. It's like, how do you suggest to an engine to save fuel? That's funny.
And so you've seen on your car?
Yeah, my car. My car was a 19 mpg. It's a Ford Explorer. And when I do long distance, it will be like a killer for me. But right now, on half a tank, I'm going to California. That means I'm saving. It used to be a 19 mpg. It was a Ford Explorer 2002 model, and now it fluctuates between like 29 and 32 mpgs I'm getting, just because I clipped the same pendant material next to my fuel line. I'm not even going into the engine. It's adjacent to the fuel line, and the molecules are affected by the photons. That pendant is that powerful that the entire liquid structure of the engine, which is oil and fuel, responds to the pendant. I find it amazing. Like, I'm still like, every day how I do this, I'm like, this is some amazing stuff.
Well, it's one of those things, because I just got an electric car, as you guys know, and it's like, okay, well, I can't get an electric car yet. I don't have the money to do that. And I'm like, okay, that's great. Well, the whole idea is to reduce fossil fuel consumption. And so it's like, well, there are technologies like exactly what you've created.
Transitional technology that helps us to really not kill the fuel industry per se, but harmonize, make it holy, make it efficient, harmonize your car. Also, you have a constant blessing running. People that have sight, they'll see a blue aura around the car. It's, I mean, people have tried with the Kesha generator, but I beat that Kesha generator by no electricity necessary. And I'm not about competition. I believe in a lot of these Kesha things that we have to develop and go further, more. Mine is non-evasive, the size of a lipstick, you know, like a couple of bucks, you know, and you can save up to $2,000 to $3,000 a year.
And it just
on average.
And it's just like an action step to take,
yeah.
you know?
And you're an active light worker. You're light gridding the highway. When you drive with this thing, you leave a photonic light signature that enhances the light grid of natural light actually here.
Yeah.
So lots can be done.
Yeah.
I have ideas of inventions where I'm thinking of a ionic water clearing system, which will have the nanoparticles placed in stainless steel containers and a water flow through system. And I already have tested it. I can take acidic water. And then I took one of my charging devices and held it photonically over acidic water, like Circle K, like gas station water. It's dead.
Yeah.
I measured it.
Yeah.
I did a video on how to indicate visually what the pH level is. The water came back the next day.
Wow.
It became alkaline and it was biovital again. And I can do that with dead milk or whatever.
Making it alive.
Yeah. And I show that in one of the chambers that I showed in Bavaria, where I had the nanoparticles charged. We put camembert cheese in it and let it sit there for 8 months. But guess what happened? It didn't rot. It mummified.
It did?
Yeah, it healed. So you make that wet again, make it mushy again, and you can eat it. So now think food storage.
Yeah.
Like I'm talking $1 billion industry, not that I'm going crazy here, but like imagine that you can store kale without having to spray kale all the time. Because see, that's also good to know for the vegans. You eat all that green stuff, but it's still viral because the way the food is processed and kept moist. Because when my grandma got the greens from the soil, you cut it, you chop it, you eat it. You don't contain it moist.
It can't even
stays
exist.
moist all the time.
Farmers market, vegetables, you have to eat them within a day.
Yeah.
So how are the other ones staying okay?
Yeah, they're sustained with stuff that is unnatural for you. So some people are like, oh, I've been vegan for 20 years, but my third eye is closed. Yeah, well, maybe it's the way the food is processed is photonically not enhanced enough.
Yeah.
And your food needs light.
Yeah.
And these plants can grow with these photonic pebbles that I have. I had a tree in my driveway where I showed that on Facebook that was dead. The guy came, cut the thing in half because it was breaking. He said, yeah, I think your tree is done. The core was black. So I put the photonic pebbles into the soil to enhance the light spectrum in the root sector, and the tree came back. So that's proof that all you got to do is bring structured light back to the soil, to the body, and life can expand again. And that's what we need to do with all our technology for food storage, waterways. I want to do a video on how we can bring the barrier reef back. All we need is containers that weigh 2 tons, hexagonally shaped with holy geometry, filled to the brim with nanoparticles that will make the water alkaline again, increase the photonic level that's missing. The barrier reef went acidic, and the light levels photonically, the storage levels are crap. We can fix it.
Yeah.
We have the technology. That's what I'm in tune with the Arcturian Council says is you have all the technologies to build stargates and spaceships and interstellar. Everything is on Earth.
Yep.
Stop trying to find other planets and exotic material that is just a manipulation for you to go out of your mind. That in 20 years you're not on Mars the way you're thinking to put people in a tin can, pump oxygen, put them to sleep and wake them up. Crap, you got to think interdimensional.
Yes.
Time travel, timelines.
Yes.
Opening up to the thing that these people that visit us are future selves, fixing timelines, and they have the capacity to basically resonate through space. They don't even have to fold space. That's all too much menagerie of what has to be done.
Yeah.
They can just go bloop and project themselves because they're at a higher light level, and we're trying to go there. And at some point when Earth is ascended, Earth is going to look like a sun to another Earth.
Yeah.
Because it's that light. Any more questions?
On a simple level, what can people do to get out of even just the matrix to need to be fixed?
Yeah, make conscious choices with your money. Don't wait for nobody to bring it to you, or like I told her earlier, global currency reset. You know, everybody waits and give me the millions. We all have to do the work.
Yeah.
Conscious intelligence, emotional intelligence requires for you to build your body, and it's not handed to you. We fell in the ancient wars to this place here to build back up, and we have to do the work. So make conscious decision. What are you subscribing? You know, you're watching CNN or you're watching certain YouTube channels that you pick with people that have conscious topics that are even cheaper than your cable bill. Who knows? So understand what you're subscribing to is what you're becoming. Information is photonic. So the higher the information, the more the body can heal. I mean, I moved to Sedona and I found people and the energetics from this place that after 37 years of carrying Lyme, dormant meningitis, I'm officially healed.
That's amazing.
I'm free of it. That's a killer. You know, I had friends that died of that stuff. Your brain melts and you're gone.
Yeah.
I am officially clear. So because I upped my photonic level, I surround myself daily with photonic devices. I biohack my apartment. I have something on my meter. And I'm not influencing how the meter runs. I'm just going into the scalar field of stuff that's around me. I make sure my head is not by the plug, you know. My TV has stickers that I sell online to harmonize the electromagnetic waves. I use an EMF detector to see where's the most EMF in your fridge, by the way.
Really?
It's the most EMF. That's why food dies the fastest in the fridge.
Oh, wow.
So you got to put stuff in your fridge, like shungite, quartz crystals. And I have my photonic, like industrial size, I have these big devices in my fridge, and cheese mummifies in my fridge. It doesn't rot. So I'm doing something here. So at some point, who knows if I have the budget, biohack a fridge, change the frequency, and make it Schumann resonant like a root cellar.
Yeah.
To wrap this up real quick, because I can go on for days. My grandma used to put apples in a root cellar, and they would last for 8 months.
Right.
Yeah, do that in your kitchen, what, a week, and then it's go shrivel and it's gone. She did that with apples, pears, cherries, potatoes a year. Why? Because the root cellar
is in the earth.
Is in the earth and has the photonic resonant frequency and the Schumann resonance constant. And the fridge is cut. The minute you do that, it's cut. That's why you don't put tomatoes in the fridge, by the way. People don't know that. You know?
I know.
Oh, they're rotten in 3 days. Yeah, well, they're getting bombarded and sliced and diced inside of the fridge. So biohack your fridge.
Yeah.
Get shungite, you know.
Yeah.
For those who don't want to get into my stuff, you know. Can I say my website?
Yeah.
Okay, www.ra-key.com, and then go to my shop. And then you find all the devices kind of that I mentioned to make life better, enhance the potential, living, cell defense, get that up. Also intracellular communication enhanced through light. Meaning, you know, like the rejuvenation fountains that they talk about. Well, when they go and measure these holy places, guess what? Negative ions, roof. Photons, roof. Electromagnetic frequency has a wave pattern that sings a song and has all the colors harmonized.
Yeah.
That's why we get younger in Hawaii and on places like Sedona, because these are phase conjugate places, meaning the energy is right from the ground to the sky. And in the city, it no longer is. The big cities in the future have to do something.
Yeah.
You know, many cities already import waters because all their wells are pumped dry.
Yeah.
You really pay attention to your environment and feel into what's being transmitted and the clarity of communication that has just taken place for you to make a conscious choice to better your life. And guess what? IQ goes up, emotional IQ goes up, natural intelligence goes up, healing is much better without taking medicine that numbs you and temporarily relieves your pain, but you're not really taking care of the cause. And you want to find the root of the problem, where you take your torchlight and you go into your basement and figure out what needs to get out. Yeah.
Thank
That's
you.
It. That's it.
And I'll put all of those links in the description below.
Ra-Key, and then my Etsy store is Arcturian Council on Etsy. So go to ra-key.com. You find me.
And check out his YouTube channel.
Yeah, YouTube channel, Arcturus RA. Over 2 million views, lifetime views.
He's got good stuff. He's a good guy.
So I'm on it.
Good.
I'm on it. And thanks for the support. You know, I appreciate people helping me. That's really.
And he supported me in the beginning.
Yeah, when I saw her and her dad, I was like,
we take care of each other.
Yeah, so, you know, take care of each other.
Yeah.
You know, those who, wherever your connection is, whatever you feel, follow that what you feel and what's in your heart. It's only real, and that's free. The rest is an exchange to respect the universe. Inhale, exhale.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
See you on the flip side.
See you.